Well, thank you very much for coming to my presentation, and for all of you in the room who have been shareholders and have stuck with us through these last couple of years. You're looking at our project site, and yes, we are sitting with a very impressive resource number now. But our program this year is about targeting that high grade within it. As you said, where's the 5 million ounces of plus 1 gram that's going to be the basis of the mine plan for this project and which is going to drive the economics? And yes, a high grade silver discovery on top of that. We're located in the Yukon, in the Nacho-Nyak-Dun traditional territory, one First Nation, that's a settled First Nation. Our project, if you listen to a lot of the newsletter writers, they tell you to check the boxes. Does the project have growth potential? Do the management team have a track record of success? I think with Banyan, you will see we have extremely dedicated and experienced management team that's taken this project from discovery through to this very large resource, and we are positioned to take it the rest of the way, whatever that might be, because this is a pretty dynamic time, so you need to be prepared for all kinds of things. We have an established gold resource. You have lots of projects, and there'll be lots of juniors that come about that have very early stage projects where they may find a resource. We have 7.7 million ounces, 2.2 million ounces of indicated and 5.4 million ounces of inferred, and lots of growth potential. If you look at the maps, you'll see there's lots of room and areas where we've drilled off mineralization where we simply haven't drilled to connect them. That high grade, you'll see it through the presentation and in the results that we've put out and will continue to put out now to March, showing different numbers than what you've heard from Banyan with some high grade. We have a really strong we have a really strong treasury with now $42 million in the bank, vetted by some of the industry's best. We're pleased that, Rick Rule, who's here, is a shareholder. Alpayana is the one that just made that investment in us. That's a real vetting. Franklin Gold and Precious Metals, Quinton Henning, many other industry veterans, including people like John Robbins, have taken positions recently in Banyan Gold because they can see the potential of this project. And infrastructure, we're in Canada's north, but we benefit from having hydropower lines already on the property and roads, even cell phone service. Infrastructure is critical to projects that can move forward and be developed quickly. So here's the Yukon. This belt of rocks is getting a lot of attention from Snowline off to the east, which has a Tier 1 discovery as well, the same style of mineralization as us, and Sitka. We're located in the heart, right beside two mines, Hecla's high-grade silver mine, which is why our silver is additionally exciting. We already have a silver mine and a mill just down the road. You can see it there. And the Eagle Gold Mine, which is for sale, and which we know there's a bidding process going on right now. People are driving through our property on that road, which is the main highway, out to see that project. And, that project still has a very significant resource and a lot of infrastructure out there. There's our two deposits. We named them after our infrastructure, the airstrip deposit and the power line deposit. We actually made a discovery underneath a power line beside a highway in 2019, and that's a testament to how underexplored this region is and why we're making so many discoveries. There you can see the 3D model of our deposit, with the bright yellow being the indicated at the core. Here we're looking east across the property, and what you're seeing in the pink is plus 2 gram areas right on surface, and those go in and out of the page. We see strong east-west continuity of our high-grade zones, and that's what we've been focused on drilling out this year. Where are you going to mine first to get the high grade to pay back your capital? Our airstrip deposit, which is on the left there, is very exciting. High grades such as 16 meters of 9 grams, 40 meters of 4 grams, even a 35-gram intercept in our recent results. So numbers you haven't normally heard from Banyan, but we're pretty excited about being able to predict where this high grade is. We know where that contact is between the felsic dike and the calcareous metasediments, and we've now tracked it with the drill results that we put out earlier this week, over 500 meters, and we think we'll be able to expand that well over a kilometer, adding significant high-grade ounces. We have more high-grade that we put out results from the power line deposit, lots of plus 1 gram material, and that silver discovery, which some of you may have seen that news release, but long intercepts, like 17 meters of 1,800 grams per ton, but 14 kilograms of silver and 11 kilograms of silver over short intercepts. And the prize there is to find an area where the fracture which that mineralization was formed in is wide enough to have a significant amount. So it's pretty exciting in this current silver market. Our cash treasury at $42 million sets us up well into 2027 with a very big exploration program in 2026. You can see that we've got through the troubles of 2024, which was a challenging year for us. We put out a mineral resource which impressed the market. Our new geological model, being lithologically constrained, was what some of the sophisticated institutions were waiting for and geologists in the industry, and that gave us a bit of a lift. And then cleaning up the ownership issue, getting 100%, having the receiver that owned the stock in our share registry sell all their stock and confirm that they no longer own any stock has also been a catalyst for us. So I think we're well set up to continue to re-rate as we deliver on what we said we were going to do, which is to get that 5 million ounces of 1 gram and really move this project forward. I encourage you to read the analyst. Paradigm just put out a new price target at $2. There are the details of our recent financings. You'll notice that we have no warrants outstanding. Our last financing was actually basically at market, with a portion of it being charity flow-through at 97 cents, and we're currently trading about 86 cents. So people can still buy in the market as the same price that Alpayana, a very sophisticated miner that has private mines in Peru, put their money in at. And I think, they've been watching us for several years. They did a site visit this year, and then they said, yes, we want to make an investment. Can we give you $31.4 million, which when Strong Hands offers you money, you should take it. We also have a lot of coverage from various newsletter writers and people you probably know in this audience. Our plan for this year, we're going to continue to deliver value for our shareholders by following up on those high-grade results. We'll have another 120 holes to release this year. We've drilled 42,000 meters. We're just wrapping up drilling now, and we'll still be in the field for another week. I'm actually probably the only Yukon exploration story that has a site visit next week. And that's a testament that you can operate year-round here. When you have the infrastructure that we have roads, power, cell phone service, you can operate year-round, and the two mines beside us do operate year-round. So we plan to have results from that drill program into March. We're going to start drilling again in March, and we'll have a big year next year with over 50,000 meters and advancing to a PEA in the second half of 2026. Here's just looking a little bit more details into the high-graded airstrip, and you can see that zone that we're defining over 500 meters. Lots of room for it to continue to grow. It's open east and west. On the metallurgy side, 93% recoveries, pretty great recoveries. This would be a mill project that would produce doré bars with 50% gravity recovery. Infrastructure, really exciting announcement yesterday from our federal government that the BC Yukon Grid Connect for power is actually one of their priority projects. We don't know what all the details of that means, but very exciting for the Yukon's grid to get connected to the BC grid. And our project's already on the Yukon grid. You can see the power line going through our project in this photograph. It goes right along the road there. It's actually a 138 kilovolt line that's only energized to half its capacity and serves the two mines beside us and a community. So, when do you have a project that already has a power line on it that has capacity? It's a pretty rare thing. And there's potential for us to actually be part of the power solution in the Yukon because of our location and being on the grid. We've got year-round roads, and those communications are a real advantage. We spent a lot of time this last year really digging in to make sure that we checked all the boxes on the baseline environmental work and other things that we will need to advance this project and de-risk it. So that's a real advantage that we have. We're in a brownfield with existing roads and power, which in the Yukon are permittable. We have a existing permit now for exploration, which is very robust into 2028, which really sets us up. The silver discovery, just a few photographs of that core, pretty excited about it. You can see the pink line that goes through the image there, shows the trend of this vein. Keynote-style veins have a very distinctive northwest trend, and if you were to project this out a couple kilometers, you'd be at the Birmingham mine, which is Hecla's high-grade silver mine. So we're quite excited that we've been able to put together a structural story here. And while we're drilling out our Powerline gold deposit with just some minor modifications to our drill program, we're also targeting this silver. And with that kind of grades, 14,000, 11,000 grams per ton, you don't need a very wide section to be able to find something that's economically significant. And the fact that we've hit it over 5 times also says there's potential there for us to find more of it. So pretty exciting. We'll have drill results for that. We just were drilling, the last hole was targeting in this area that we just wrapped up. So those results probably won't come in until March, but we should have some more before that. The labs are very backed up in the Yukon because there's been so much activity and drilling there. Our Highland project, many of you who are longtime shareholders would remember this was the first project that we had when I became CEO back in 2016. We decided in this gold market, having another 500,000 ounces at a gram, maybe we should update the 43-101 and start to remind people that we have these extra ounces. It's also in the Yukon, 186 square kilometers, very, very underexplored, as many other places of the Yukon are. And, you know, we're not going to spend a lot of time on it. We will do a small program out there next year. But remember, we have 680 square kilometers at our AurMac project, and we've only drilled 2% of it. So we have a lot of targets to hit next year, and we're working really hard evaluating them. Here's our Nitra property, which is off to the west. You know, that's part of that main AurMac block, that's 680 square kilometers. Lots of historic alluvial mining out there, soil anomalies. We've done some geophysics, and we have some targets out there, which I feel compelled to get some drill holes into in this gold market. So look forward to seeing that next year. You know, the community is really important, and it's something I'm very passionate about. Long before I became the CEO of Banyan, I've been running a charity, working with First Nations and youth in the Yukon, getting kids to school. That's 100% volunteer activity on my part that I've done for now 13 years. We've given out $3 million, funded over 300 projects in the Yukon. So that really means I'm quite well known in the communities and with educators, the communities that don't generally know about mining or appreciate it. We have an excellent environmental record. We work really hard to make sure benefit the community. But this is kind of the exciting part. You know, our valuation, we're still just about $45 an ounce. That's pretty cheap compared to our 2 peers that are right near us who weren't affected as much by the events of last year because they weren't as close. They didn't have the ownership issue. Now that we've cleared that up, yeah, we've come up 200, 300% this year, but I think we've got a long way to re-rate to get rated for where we should be in this gold market with this quality project that we have with this infrastructure. You know, look at where we are on the scale of projects that are open pit mineable in North America. We're at the top end, in the top 5. That means that we're starting to get attention from all of those majors that now have very significant cash flows who are looking for ounces to buy because they haven't done their own exploration. And to top that off, we have a lot of people looking in this area because there's a mine for sale, and we got a silver mine right beside us that knows we just made a silver discovery. And there's been lots of activity in the Yukon with that coffee acquisition, and you know, Marcus was talking about some of these other acquisitions in the market. I think things are starting to heat up. We haven't actually got there, but I think there's exciting things to come. There'll be lots of catalysts through 2026 for our shareholders, drill results, more results from our silver exploration, the sale of that mine, which will probably be sometime in 2026, and then we'll have our own drilling and PEA to add lots of value for our shareholders. And with the rising gold price, $4,000, pretty fantastic. I think we're well positioned and we're pretty excited about 2026. And you know, people ask me about the name Banyan and where did that come from? And I actually, when I became CEO, the company's name was Banyan, so I didn't actually get to name it. But I think it's actually pretty appropriate. And I'm standing here in a photograph a couple months ago or a month ago in Hong Kong, right after the T10 hurricane, which we were lucky enough to be in Hong Kong to experience. And that's the banyan tree weathering the storm of the hurricane. And that's what Banyan did last year. And we're really well set up, you know, deep roots, strong branches. Thank you for all of you who stayed with us. Those that are joining us as shareholders, I look forward to delivering more value for you.